Wow, what a week of Big Brother 26 we've had. We've had a flip, we've had multiple alliances blown up and out in the open, we have some new alliances formed, and the gameplay has been all over the place. My overall consensus of Big Brother 26 is pretty simple and easy. The game and these players can be exciting at times, but this cast is just not that great at the game itself. They are giving excellent entertainment in different spurts and stuff like that, and especially this last weekend, the entertainment value has picked up a whole lot. But a lot of Big Brother 26 is seeing who can dig their grave the fastest or who's preventing their grave from being dug. So, as we get into Week 5 power rankings here, let's talk about this Big Brother house and where I see everybody at. Now, before we get too far in, I just want to say thank you to anybody who's watching this. Like and subscribe. We're almost 50 subscribers away from 500, and that is my goal here for the end of 2024. And I just want to thank everybody who's watched these videos, and I appreciate everybody in the Big Brother community giving me love, as we watch this season and talk about it together. But without further ado, we got to talk about how this game has blown up for a lot of these people, and I think nobody is more apparent than Brooklyn. Last week I mentioned how I think Brooklyn's actions with Angela and the knockout competition gave me kind of that feel that if Brooklyn wasn't in power and didn't get exactly what she wants, she very well may just collapse and dig her own grave and not react well. And while from the moment that the flip happened and Cedric went home, all Brooklyn has done is dig herself into a bigger hole, bigger hole, bigger hole, bigger hole, bigger hole. She's ratting out a lot of information to the HOH, and for some HOHs that might not be bad, but for Tucker, who's very open and wanting to use all the information he's given to sow seeds of distrust with everybody else, he's managed to put Brooklyn in a coffin that if there was no AI arena, Brooklyn would be going home. After the eviction happened, she was blaming Chemo and T-Core for telling her to vote out Rubina when there's mountains of evidence that she was the one wanting Rubina to be out, including last Wednesday night when she told T-Core that Rubina should be voted out against Mackenzie, something that I felt was the last seed sown to make T-Core want to flip this game around. Brooklyn only sees things from her perspective and only thinks of things that help her, and it's really only works when you're on top. Once you get exposed like that, once everything in your kind of power dynamic gets exposed, and you keep continuing to be a me type person to the outside to everybody else, your game goes down quick. And Brooklyn is in a scenario where if she doesn't win AI Arena, it's going to be a 9-0 vote to send Brooklyn home, and everybody in the house besides maybe Chelsea is not good with Brooklyn right now. Number 11 may be the most entertainingly bad player we have this season. And that says a lot because there's a lot of entertainingly bad players. But this is Mackenzie. She was 12th last week, so technically she's staying in the one spot below the worst, with Cedric being evicted. But talk about how somebody could be on the right side of the vote, who had conversations before that they were going to keep Cedric, has a pretty close relationship with Tucker going in and wanting to work with Tucker, and managed to come out of this vote on the right-hand side, siding with the two people who were on the wrong side of the vote, believing everything they're saying and just taking all of their word at will and spreading it throughout the house, being told by Leia about an 8-person alliance, and then not believing that there was an 8-person alliance. Luckily, that has maybe, ended today with Tucker giving her, blowing things up. But Mackenzie manages to make the wrong reads every single time. It's honestly amazing that she was able to vote on the right side last time. But she didn't vote on the right side because the reads were right, and she immediately tied herself to the bottom of the house with both Brooklyn and Chelsea and was their mouthpiece throughout the whole entire week. Tucker used her extremely well to get a bunch of information from Chelsea and Brooklyn to help bury those two, and she just does not understand this game and the social cues and stuff. Much like Jag, the season 25 winner last year, saying this, with how bad Mackenzie's doing. Mackenzie is like in a whole different Big Brother house, Big Brother game. And her only hope is that Tucker's going to try and keep her safe a little bit because she seems like a very big, easy Tucker minion at the moment, but if you give Mackenzie a scenario between life and more safety in the Big Brother house and the absolute wrong thing to do, Mackenzie 10 out of 10 times will choose the wrong thing to do. And it's completely entertaining. I can't believe just everything she says and how she gets through this house. She's very clearly like an HOH snob to where she'll always cuddle up with the HOH and kind of go with what they're saying. And even after Tucker outed the collective and the 8-person alliance and that Brooklyn was, selling her out and stuff, like, Mackenzie's still going and talking to Brooklyn and Chelsea the most and kind of half believing them. It's just like, Mackenzie is bad at this game. She's very bad at this game. But entertaining, we'll take that. Another person who's very bad at this game that dropped 2 spots this week is Quinn. Quinn saved from the POV. Quinn with a lot of people rallying around him a bit still. And that's why he isn't ranked lower, because, my God, he had a deal opportunity with Tucker he didn't take. His HOH saw one of his closest allies go home, and he was blindsided about it by his other 2 allies. He outed a do not out plan that Tucker gave him to Brooklyn, and even formed a final 2 with Brooklyn, in which she ratted out right away. And, and even yesterday when, Tucker was like, hey, what we're talking about right now, you need to be quiet. He was like, I know I shouldn't tell you this, Rabina, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. Quinn does not know how to keep his mouth shut at all. He spills information on, all the time. He doesn't realize that he's so obviously playing his own game, and obviously he's showing the other people he's playing his own game, that he doesn't think that the other people will be self-interested, and he thinks he's very showy and smart, but he's really just bad at this game, and he's comically bad. And again, he can't keep a secret worth his life, and he doesn't have good reads on the house. Everybody, I think Decor and Chemo could have said stuff that put Leia on the block last week instead of Rabina that caused this flip to happen with Cedric. But, Leia was giving him all these signs that she wasn't that good with him. Hey, Leia, let's talk. I'll sit next to you at the couch. And she's like, actually, you can sit over there. And they're one-on-one. Quinn's like, hey, let's put our hands together. Let's hold hands and talk about this. And Leia's like, no, I don't want to do that. The signs are there, Quinn, that she's not with you, but he doesn't see that at all. And even this week, when it eventually came out to him that, Leah might not like him that much, he was telling cameras, I don't believe Brooklyn when she says that. Leia does like me, and I kind of like her too, and we're 2 incredible people together. It's just this guy is so bad at this game. He's clearly Tucker's adversary, and the fact that I think a lot of people see him as the potential person that can take Tucker out later and keep their hands clean is what's keeping him in this game. But I don't see how he even gets close to the end, or if he does, I don't know how he gets votes to win this game, because he's just bad. He's very, very bad at this game. It's kind of impressive. Now, somebody who is trying to recover their way up, and even from beginning of today till now, they've managed to move themselves up a spot or so, is Chelsea. She was my number 1 ranked player last week. And when the flip happened, there was still a lot of people rallying around her a bit, but she stapled herself to Brooklyn all week long and, got very much outed as Brooklyn's number 1. And as Brooklyn dug her hole deeper, she's pulling Chelsea down with her, because I'm pretty sure at this point, if Brooklyn wins AI Arena, Tucker's going to have 5 loyal votes to send her out. Even if Decor and Chemo want to save Chelsea, I'm pretty confident Tucker has Angela, Joseph, Leah, Mackenzie, and Rabina to send Chelsea out the door. She's very clearly has been clocked as Brooklyn's and kind of the smart person. She still is very much denying the Pentagon and not getting out ahead of that, even though she knows that Quinn has told people about the Pentagon and other people. She's like, I wasn't in any other alliances. I wasn't a part of anything bigger. It's like, you're lying so bad. And she put a lot of heat on Joseph a bit, and kind of between her and Brooklyn put some heat on Takor and Chemo, with people like Rabina, with people like Leah. Leah, that I think if the information keeps coming back to Takora and Chemo, they'll be like, you know what, it's not, we flipped the house last week, it's not worth flipping again. Tucker is doing a much better job than Quinn was at including Rubina and Chemo in just conversations and treating them with respect, that I think Chelsea, if Brooklyn wins AI Arena, Chelsea's out the door. And that's why she's ranked number 9. But if she stays in the house, if one of her kind of potential allies, pseudo-allies, wins HOH, she can climb herself back up here in different type of ways. But her problem right now is as long as Brooklyn's in this house, Brooklyn is like dragging Chelsea down to the grave. Like, you're coming down with me. And it's not good for Chelsea's game. She should want Brooklyn out ASAP, and she should be doing everything she can to disconnect from Brooklyn in general. But she's not, which is why she's ranked number 9, down from number 1 last week. I know a lot of people would love him to leave. I know he is not doing much hypothetically in the game, but the person who I think has handled the best of this, flip with the Pentagon is Cam. And that's because he's quiet, he seems cool and collective, he doesn't seem to take anything personally with people. He's just doing nothing, and in this scenario, in this house where the game seems to be how can I dig my grave the fastest, doing nothing moves you up, per se. Most seasons, Cam would be near the bottom of the rankings. And 8 out of 12 is still near the bottom, but I'm pretty sure he's safe this week altogether. I think Tucker will be happy to kind of bring him in and work with him as the game moves on a little bit further. I think because he hasn't freaked out, because he hasn't blamed anybody, because he hasn't really showed any emotion, he's in a good spot out of all these 4. And again, because Brooklyn is dragging Chelsea to the grave with her, he's going to get out of this vote just fine. And I think if he wins HOH, he's probably going to go with the power structure a bit and give himself more safety in this game, just in my opinion. I don't know if he has a winning game in him per se. It's definitely going to be a lot harder spot now that his core allies that, were kind of carrying him to the point of the game when he could just comp out are the ones now leaving. But just doing nothing in this game sometimes could be the best strategy. And even though I don't think Cam's thinking too hard, I do think that was the best strategy this week. And it's proving with his safety here and why he's number 8 for me. Now, somebody who's moved up a lot this week is Tucker. I think Tucker has had absolutely the best HOH rating I think we've seen from both Big Brother 26 and even last season in Big Brother 25. He managed to truly protect and, mirage his true loyal allies in both the tanks and in 6th Avenue. He has gotten a ton of damning information out about all of his potential targets and nominees this week. He has people coming up to him and promising him safety. Whether they do that or not, we'll have to say. He just has managed to make the HOH work to where everybody kind of feels like they're on Tucker's side a bit. And he's been able to get just a lot of information out and make a lot of great reads in this house and try to position things in a way where he can feel safe and in power. The only issue on why Tucker's not ranked higher for me is he won the POV again. He won the HOH with the wall. He's won 2 other POVs, 2 AI arenas. So he's such a big comp threat, and he talks over people a lot. He's very, very loud. And at some point, he is going to get clipped off if he doesn't win a POV, or I don't know how long the AI arena is going to be around, but if the AI arena goes away at jury, I think he's going to be clipped in a backdoor scenario, kind of like Cam was in BB25. Again, I really like the way Tucker has played this week. I think, he went from somebody being somebody where I didn't see a path forward to him to, if some of these structures work out and they stay loyal to Tucker throughout, he has a path to the end of the game. The only issue is I do feel like some of these structures realize Tucker is a target worthy to take out, and they aren't so keen on him just winning all these comps that he's already done. So that's why he's ranked number 7. He's played a very good week, so the ranking could be a lot higher, you can say, but that comp threat ability, his well-known comp threat ability out there, just has him lower for me in the power rankings because he is such a big threat in comps that I see him not being able to make it to the end because somebody will take him out beforehand. Number 6 is Leah. Leah, I thought, has mostly played this flip right. She has really backed Takora, Chemo, Rabina, and Joseph heavily, even Angela a lot. She has taken all the information dumping that Brooklyn and Chelsea and Mackenzie have done about hating on Takora, Chemo, and Joseph and brought it back and been like, hey, they're just hypocrites over there. They're just people mean that they didn't get their way, and they're throwing a lot of shade at you guys. But you guys did exactly what's right. We wanted Rabina to be here. Nobody was asking us should we want Rabina to be here or not. They were telling us how we had to vote, and we decided we were going to do what we wanted. She's not in any alliances per se, but I do think there's a little bit of comfort, for her with both Joseph. I think there's a growing little bit of comfort with Rabina a bit. They have a very good friendship, but I really think Leah has done a very good job, again, showing to Rabina she cares about her and wanted her in the house. And I do think where Chemo and Tikor are skeptical, and especially Chemo still a little bit skeptical, her in these conversations really sticking up for them and being like, no, you guys did the right thing and you did what you wanted to do and you should not be ashamed about that, is the exact type of motivational friendly things that Takor and Chemo are wanting to hear or are getting to hear from Leah, that she's moving up in the pecking order for a lot of people. Now, the fact that she's not in any alliance isn't great, but with how much this house kind of doesn't really want to be in any alliances, with how loose everything is at, and just how everybody's trying to dig their own graves, including Leah herself, leaking the collective information to Mackenzie, who took it straight to Brooklyn and Chelsea. She's not in a bad spot, because if this house shakes up more, if this new, 6th Avenue and the Tanks house formation kind of implodes in a week or two, I think Leah is somebody who can socially climb her way back up with whoever's left over there, and that's why she's number 6 for me. Moving up a whole lot, as everybody is getting new targets and everything else, is Angela. Angela has played very nice to Quinn this week, and Quinn's noticed that. Quinn's like, you know what? Maybe Angela, I kind of want to target Angela, but maybe she's not as bad as I thought she was. She's sticking up for me for a couple scenarios. The heat's kind of off of her a bit. For Brooklyn and Chelsea, the heat is very much on Joseph, Takora, Chemo, and even Tucker a bit. Angela has faded into the background, and in a game where there are no safety, the blood's kind of been drawn all over the place. Angela is no longer worried about being a target. She's not going to win many physical comps, but she's kept her mouth quiet with drama. She's starting to trust people and has a core group of people she trusts more, and she's making some decent reads in the house, and she's being honest and telling people what others are saying to her and building little things of trust. I don't know if there's a way Angela can win this game, but she definitely has a story for herself to where if she continues to build these relationships more, if this is a jury of, say, 7 instead of 9, a lot of these people that she's working with right now on 6th Avenue and the Tanks are getting to know her more, getting to, feel her story, and she can keep building these personal relationships. She might get 4 votes in the end if she's sitting next to somebody like a Leah, like maybe a Joseph per se. I just think she's doing a very good job in this house, and she's won 2 comps. Nobody's treating her like a comp threat, and she might win more comps with quizzes and stuff. She's handling this information with the 6th Avenue and the Tanks very well. And she's just kept her head cool, calm, and collected, and she's climbing the social ladder a lot. And I loved how Angela's played this week, and it's why she's moved up 6 spots from 11 last week up to 5. I'm really impressed, and I think we're going to be having Angela for a long haul, and I actually think she's becoming a player in this game long term. Number 4, and staying at number 4 each week, is Chemo. Chemo would be higher if he was able to not be as paranoid as he is. Chemo consistently, and it could be because he's on slop this week, not getting much sleep, but we even saw it last week. He's very paranoid with conversations and people in Tucker's ear, and he's quick to potentially judge and jump to conclusions on that and telling people that type of a way. One thing I like about Chemo, though, is he is willing to speak up and have, kind of be the voice of the conversations between T-Core and him. But the downside is that I think Chemo, when it comes to T-Core and Chemo is the outside target and the person that somebody would send home over to Core. And that's also why I have him ranked lower, because I think at some point, whenever T-Core and Chemo do go up on the block together and do become targeted, I think the vote is more likely to land on Chemo as the game moves on rather than T-Core. So he doesn't have as many shields in the game, as much as I think T-Core does, and that's why I have him ranked number 4. Power ranked number 3. He was higher. He was going to be my number 1, I'll be honest. But Tucker said some stuff in this meeting, and people are kind of clocking his game a bit, and that is Joseph. Joseph has grown on me a lot this week. I thought he handled the post flip very well. He was able to get a lot of information. He was able to pick up the pieces of Leah, pick up the pieces of Quinn a bit. Really connect with, I think, T-Core and Chemo at first, and feel like he will. I made the vote change because I want to work with you guys. And at first, he started doing a good job hiding himself, talking with Tucker. But as the week has gone on, he's been going to Tucker a lot more and more and more. And even in conversations with 6th Avenue, he's kind of saying stuff that Tucker agrees with, which is sounding the alarm bells to some people in 6th Avenue that I think Tucker and Joseph are very, very close. Mixed in together with him, claiming he made the collective, and people were like, well, if you made the collective, but there was this smaller alliance in between, how come you didn't know about that smaller alliance? Now, we know Joseph's telling the truth about that. The Pentagon, dragged Brooklyn into this so they could have all 5 in this 8-person alliance. But his game is a little bit shifty, and he's starting to get clocked a bit. He's admitted to having kind of a crush with Leah, which, again, alarm bells are going off to people like Rabina, Chemo, and T-Core, that maybe Joseph is playing a little bit more of a savvy game than we think, and his game is getting clocked a little bit here and there. He's kind of taken the heat most from Brooklyn and Chelsea as the mastermind of last week's flip, even though that wasn't the case. And just overall, Joseph, I think, could be a very good position, but because the theme of the season is how can I bury myself, the last couple of days he seemed a little bit too close to Tucker, admitted a little bit being too close to Leah, that he's starting to bury himself into a dangerous position to where, he can be like Corey last year. Once jury starts, if the chance comes to take him out, even if he's in your alliance, you do that because you think he's kind of maneuvering things, you think he's kind of playing the game, and you got to get those people out. And that's why Joseph, he's still, I think, done a lot better this week, and he's ranked number 3 from last week 7 because of that. But he slid down for me just today from number 1 to number 3 because his game is getting clocked by his closest allies, and that's never a good situation because they will make those plays later in the game whenever things get lower. I can't believe she's here, because I don't think she's playing a good game that much. But much like Cam, because she doesn't act much, because she doesn't talk up too much, T-Core is number 2. And the theme of the house is burying yourself, in your game because you're just a bad player. T-Core's silence just all around has allowed her to find herself in a decent position. She may push a little bit for Chelsea's safety this week, but I don't know how loudly she's going to be pushing for that. I think she does realize a little bit that Chelsea might not be a bridge she can bring back too much, or at least there's information out there from people like Rabina, like Leia, and even Tucker to where hey, you realize Chelsea is talking bad about you? That may cause T-Core to go bad, but I'm starting to see little things something as simple as Tucker allowing her to come up with hey, what is our 6-person cheer as we leave a meeting for the 6th Avenue? Puts a smile on her face. She's talking not that much in conversation, but she's talking up a bit. Tucker is receptive to her ideas, and he will say hey, that's a good point. So I think there's just enough in this power structure to make T-Core feel comfortable, and a lot of the people in the power structure like her, and I think are shields for her without her really knowing that. I just think she's in a very good position as this game moves forward. I do think if Chelsea stays, I think she's smart enough to realize that T-Core is somebody she should bring in a little bit more, and she'll bring some more trust with that. T-Core has a great relationship with Angela. She has a great relationship with Chemo. Tucker really likes T-Core and values her overall. And even Cam has played her pretty well. She's handled great conversations with Leah this week, and her and Rabina have a very strong bond together too. Because she has so many shields around her, I just feel like T-Core is going to find herself, as this game goes along, that she's going to make it towards the end game and have a real chance at winning. And that's why she's ranked number 2 for me, because I think if she was more vocal about her ideas, it would cause her damage and it would move her down these rankings. But because she's very and doesn't talk much about her bad ideas and kind of lets Chemo push them, and then she's kind of like scot-free on them a bit, I think she's in a very good spot. And again, because there's so many shields in front of her in this power structure, whether it be Angela, whether it be Tucker, whether it be Chemo, whether it be Joseph, whether it be Leah, I just think, she's very well shielded all around with her allies. And for a lot of people, she's going to be the last person they go after in that group, which means if this group lasts long enough, she's going to be there at the end of the game. And I think if she makes it to the end, I think people are going to want to vote for her because she is a very warm soul, and I think people just have a natural connection to her overall. But the one player that I have ranked number 1 this week, she was on the block last week. She barely lost AI Arena, mainly because Mackenzie is taller and has a bigger stride and could run faster. It's Rabina. And why is Rabina ranked number 1? Well, because when she survived this flip, everybody wants to be her best friend and say they have her back. And everybody is targeting the people that flipped and not innocent Rabina. Rabina is in the amazing power structure of both, the tanks and 6th Avenue. She is close and good with Quinn. Chelsea and Mackenzie aren't going to go after Brooklyn anytime soon. She has a great relationship being built with Leah. Joseph, I think, knows how much she means to Tucker, so he's not going to, attack her because, he doesn't want to make Tucker upset. Chemo and T-Core are also very loyal to her overall. Everybody in this game, I think, is very, very loyal to Rabina, and she has so many shields and so many people that have now vouched for her that I don't think many people are going to want to put her on the block because you don't want to risk her going, losing a vote and voting her out, because clearly last week she had Takora, Chemo, Joseph, and Tucker, and Leah all on her side, and all those people are staying here, and are going to be part of the votes later on. And who is she going to be up on the block against and leave against? She's not leaving against a Brooklyn. She's not leaving against a Mackenzie. She's not leaving against a Quinn. She's not leaving against a Chelsea. She's not leaving against a Cam. She's not leaving against a Tucker, against a Leia, against an Angela. I don't think she leaves against a Chemo. I don't think she leaves against a Joseph. I think everybody in the house, she's safe against on the block. And she's likable. I think she's very well spoken. And as this game goes on, she doesn't know how much power she has. She doesn't know how well insulated she has. She has no idea how the house flipping on her, whenever the Pentagon felt so safe and secure, that she is in this well-insulated position. And I don't think anybody's going to risk putting Rabina up anytime soon. And as this security shell stays intact, and if they can stay with her as this game goes longer, I don't think anybody's going to turn against Rabina until maybe the final 3. And I think if she makes the final 2, she might have Tucker in the jury vouching for her. She might have Takor in the jury vouching for her. She may have Leia in the jury vouching for her. I think she has a lot of advocates for her game. I think there's a lot of people who are going to like Rabina and how she was able to maneuver the house, whether it was her play or not. I just think Rabina is in the best position in this house. And I think if she realizes she's in the best position, and she starts being open to different reads and stuff, and allowing the house to kind of play around her, she has a great chance at winning this game. I know some people might not say she's the best game player, but I'm looking at this whole house on who is the most insulated and who is the most likely to make it to the end. And even with this whole power structure flip, Rabina seems to be the safe kind of core where nobody's going to want to go after her in this house because there is a Tucker to back her up. There is a Chemo to back her up. There's a Takor to back her up. And to get to Rabina, you're going to have to go through all those pieces. And I don't see a way where, unless the competitions flip and Cam and Tucker go on a run and Cam takes out Rabina 1 week with, whatever, I don't see her losing her insulation in this game very much. She has really good allies who are just great shields for her. And I see, we're 34, 35 days in, I can see in 55 or so days when, day 90 hits around that Rabina wins Big Brother 26 because she is so well insulated. Everybody around her is a bigger target than her. And I think everybody is afraid to go after her because she has so many allies in the house. And that is why Robina is ending my week rank 1. But man, what a week this was. We had alliances flipping out. We had information galore going around the house. We had Tucker just causing all the type of drama with the veto meeting. We have 2 great competitions with both The Wall and Hide and Go Veto that we're going to get to watch on the episode. Drama galore. Big Brother 26 is giving this week, and I hope this continues for the rest of the season. Tucker, I think, very much spilt so much blood on the floor this game that now people are going to want to play, and it's going to be fun seeing how this moves around as the weeks come on and the next HOH comes. Tell me your thoughts down below on my power rankings, what I got right and wrong. Who's your top player this season? And again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. And yeah, let's all enjoy Big Brother 26 this week.